Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is quite sad and I wasn't even really intending on shooting today, but I think I want to highlight some stuff that might get lost as we absorb everything that's currently happening. So for those that do not know, there's been a mass shooting that took place last night, Thursday, in Germany, Hamburg, and 6 people have died. And as much as we sit here on the internet and talk about how horrible the Jehovah's Witnesses are, no one needs to die, and not like this. And yeah, 6 people died, adults and also an unborn child. And I've been just looking up, doing a bit of research, finding out like what happened. And after just reading up on the stories, I understood what happened. I understood who Philip is. And obviously, this is just an assumption at this point. We don't know much about him just yet, other than he was a businessman who I think sold courses or some form of training and promised that businesses can see profits or revenue around $2 million, euros around there, and charge people like a lot of money for his courses and training. And he was 35 years old and from not from Hamburg, but lived in Hamburg. He was from somewhere else outside of Hamburg. And there's a trend in the Jehovah's Witness organization of violence. And this mass shooting doesn't actually shock me because where I was in, our congregation, we had multiple fights break out during meetings. Multiple fights. There was a time where someone actually like had a fist fight. And it's always men. Most of the time it's men. There's only one incident where it was actually a female. Very vocal and, very like all about I can stand my own ground. And she was arguing with someone over like books. And yeah, that was the one time the female was involved. But every other time it's men. It's men and their egos and fighting for positions or being disfellowshipped. For those that do not know, disfellowshipping is being shunned. And seeing this mass shooting play out is just like a reminder for me of what I've left, because that's the violence there. Men fight for positions. And obviously, I'm not saying every guy or every male person in the organization is like physical. No, but the fights that people typically have for like political positions is kind of the same in the organization. Elders hold the highest position in the congregation, and there's also one who oversees all of them, and they're constantly fighting for that position. Some of them are just fighting to become elders, others are fighting to become ministerial servants, which is a level below elders. And you see men fighting over these positions, arguing. And we had two other incidents that I remember of, where a guy hit a man with a crowbar during a meeting on his back. I mean, the person who got attacked had so much PTSD that he couldn't, and I know I'm diagnosing him myself, but I don't know what else to call it, but he couldn't walk into the actual building for a couple of months. Like, he would attend meetings but actually not go in. He'd be like outside guarding the cars and just, I don't know, just listening from outside. And the other incident was someone attacked someone with a knife. So a man attacked his wife with a knife personally at home. And I don't want to delve too much into this situation because I actually know the people quite personally, and I wouldn't want to encroach on their privacy like this. But yes, a man attacked his wife at home with a knife, and it came out during like a meeting, and the elders found out and basically had to remove the man, but there were other things as well leading up to his removal. And yeah, but basically that happened, and then his wife at the time, oh yes, she got attacked, yes, and then when he came to the meetings for the last time, he physically attacked the church elders who were going to remove him, like during a meeting. So this is what I'm just trying to get at, is that there's a trend of violence in this organization, among other bad things that are currently happening. Men just, they'll fight for positions, as I've said a couple of times already, but also they will oppress women. Women don't hold any positions. Women are told that they are meek, they need to be led, they need to be submissive to their husbands. And there's a lot of domestic violence in the organization that really gets suppressed. There's also a lot of other forms of violation. And this also takes place and it's hidden. There's even a big case currently taking place in Pennsylvania, where I think 5 or 6 Jehovah's Witnesses have been charged. And yeah, this is the kind of organization that produces a mass shooter. And I'm not saying they produce mass shooters, but I'm saying the conditions are so rife. And if you're someone who suffers from mental health conditions, like Philip did, things like this happen. And the organization doesn't believe in going to the police, doesn't really believe in scientific ways of handling matter. Like if you look on their websites, for example, if they're talking about harming yourself, how can you deal with it? They won't really advise you to go to a therapist. They'll advise you to just pray. And this is what happens when you just resort to your own understanding when dealing with things you don't understand, like mental health. Yeah. I didn't think it would be so difficult to shoot this video, but it is, because it's just reminding me of just so many things growing up and just how hard it was growing up in this organization. The shunning is so painful, it's so difficult, and you see how people are outcasted. It's so hard, it's so difficult. You can see how people are just in fear of being removed from the religion. I was just talking to my partner, and the only thing I can possibly equate it to someone who's not in the religion is if you've worked somewhere for a long time and you've contributed to the company and you've given it your all, and they suddenly just fire you over something that happened. Even if you were wrong, even if you weren't wrong, it's painful. It's that painful, like literally your life has just turned upside down. So disfellowshipping does that. Also being removed through force out of the organization, meaning that you did something wrong and they just removed you and you don't have a chance or whatever. It leads to also like feelings like that because of you've been unjustly removed or justfully. So yeah, I'm really praying for the people in Germany that they recover, and I pray for the healing, of course. This was definitely something disgusting, and it's a developing story, and we'll definitely find out more about who Philip was, what happened, and I'm hoping it'll also bring a light or shine a light over just this organization and every single thing that happens within, and how people are constantly violated, abused. Yeah. So we'll see how the story develops, and thank you all for watching.